In a world full of adventure, where every trail promises something new, there's Onyx Offroad, the ultimate tool for explorers. With Onyx Offroad, finding trails you've never seen before is effortless. Discover hidden gems, remote vistas, and off-road routes less traveled. We recently used Onyx to discover a new loop called Wolf Ridge in the Ozarks, a place that we never would have found on our own. Whether you're a seasoned off-roader or a weekend explorer, Onyx Offroad uses cutting-edge GPS technology to guide you through uncharted territory with detailed maps and user updates for the latest conditions on trails. Start your journey today and uncover the trails you've always dreamed of with Onyx Offroad, and sign up using our discount code TTC to save 20% today.
Welcome back to Texas Truck Channel. I'm Brian.
Oh, and I'm excited.
I'm even more excited. I've been waiting for this, Craig. Ford doesn't actually have this in the press fleets, and let's just get out of the way. It's a 2024 Ford Ranger XLT FX4 with the locker, cactus gray. It's actually on price and mechanical specifications as close as we can get to our Tacoma we own right now. So that's why I'm really intrigued by it. Let's get to the Monroney, Craig. We got to drag it out. Here it is. Never leave home without it. 2.3 4-cylinder. That's a 0.1 liter smaller than our Tacoma, but it makes more power. That's the good news, at least more torque. This one comes in at $44,140, and that's with some options. Options being the XLT series, which gives you dual zone electric climate control. Our truck has that as well. And then you get the FX4 package, which gives you different suspension, meaning just dampers are different. 373 rear locker, the integrated bedside step, which I like. I'll show you that in a second, and the trailer tow pack. All comes up to $44,140. MPG, according to the feds, is 22 mixed, 20 city, 24 highway.
Can confirm, I got 24 coming here.
Okay, so there you go. We can confirm in our short time with this what it can actually get. All that out of the way, let's talk about the looks, Craig. I think this nose is really good looking, and I know it's not for everyone, just like the last Ranger. The complaint on the last Ranger was it looks too European. I liked that. I thought that was cool. Reminded me of the Top Gear era of all the vehicles we never got to get. Now we get it. Same thing here. This feels like an Aussie spec to me because Thailand, Australia, a bunch of Vietnamese areas, they've had these for a couple years. We haven't. So once again, we get the chop liver eventually, but I'm glad that we do have it. Multiple colors. Cactus gray on the hood, which, what a great color. What a great color. I love it on everything we've had it on. We've seen this on Broncos and 150s and everything else. You get kind of a graphite color on this plastic right here. Actually has blue metallic behind it. Looks pretty cool. Traditional Ford logo, pretty big, passes the hand test, but it fits the rest of the vehicle. And then coming down below, you get a plastic lower valence, but look at this.
Oh, tow hooks.
Beefy boy tow hooks, not afterthought tow hooks. I don't know why this is hard for some other brands. I'm not naming names. You know who you are. Just do it like this. This is a good example of it. Now, they're not reds. That's kind of a bummer, but you know, there's other trims that can give you that. You also get a separated, a divorced lower fog light, which I really like that. I know it doesn't matter for most, and functionally they're kind of like pointless, but I think it looks good. It completes the look of a rugged looking pickup truck. Coming down the side, it is a slab-sided thing, and boxy's back, baby. I'm okay with that. But it's not totally boxy. It does have some tapering. You still have some body lines here and here. Big functional mirror. It's not being cute. It's not being the GM style that's too low. It's just the right size mirror. Ford's really good at that kind of stuff. Side vent, it feels functional. I can put my finger through here. I don't know how functional that really is, but it feels like it is. Wheel and tire.
Uh-oh.
I'm torn. Do you know why I'm torn?
Oh, yeah.
It looks cool.
It does.
Let's go to the wheel first. The wheel looks good. It's got the graphite multi-spoke, which I think is a very handsome design. The size on this tire is 255/70/17. So you're not dealing with 18s or 20s, so it rides right and it does the off-road stuff you need. That's the good. The bad is it's the Goodyear Wrangler, which is the wagon wheel spec. If you look at this tread pattern, it looks like a lawn tractor's tread pattern for the trailer, not for the tractor, the trailer. It's just not a great tire. It looks cool with white letters. Extra points for that, but I just don't know why they would spec this.
So, you know, buy it and then drive these tires until they expire, which will be, anyways,
probably a long time.
And then get some good ones after that.
Maybe get some Raptor takeoff wheels. Anyways, long story short, we've tested that off-road and on. Not really that great in either of the places. So sorry, Goodyear, not a good example. Side step, you do have this. It is not a rock rail. It's also, much like the steps we had in our Tacoma, not necessary. It's just not that tall of a truck.
But better than a Predator step because you can step anywhere on it.
Yeah. You don't have just a hoop here and a hoop there. You can do all the way down. And also, you don't have a hoop that protrudes lower than the rail. So it's actually a better design than the Predator step that we had. You notice you've got this painted design between, and much like a bunch of the brands, that's vinyl. Toyota does that too, except it doesn't line up very well.
Why not just make that cactus gray, Brian? Tell us.
Yeah, it's a design feature. They want to have this looking like it's one sliver instead of divided and broken up. Okay, if you're going to do it, then paint this black. If you're going to do paint it. So anyways, coming down the side, you've got The decal. We paid $1,300 for this, and it's worth every penny.
It's a nice decal.
It's a nice decal. Looks better than our Tacoma decal, I'll say. Looks more finished. It's a good look. You know, this is an icon. Remember Z71 in the 90s for GM? It's kind of what FX4 has become for Ford. There's your optional bedside step. I'm sure Greg will talk about that more in a minute. Very GM of them, and I'm okay with that. It looks good. Another proportionately huge Ford logo. It still fits the truck. I'm okay with that. Has a 2-inch receiver down here with the included tow package. It's good to tow this amount right here. That being said, let's see what this 4-popper sounds like. Okay, great time for us to probably differ. On the inside, it sounds like a vacuum. What about out here?
Sound pretty good. Sound like a pretty awesome 4-popper.
Okay, I'll take that. Let's go check it out. Before we get into this review, I want to say thank you to Schottenkirk Ford in Granbury, Texas. They've been supporting this show for years. As you can see here, this truck is from them. The simple matter of the fact is, while we work great with Ford, they don't always have these things available for us. Schottenkirk always gets them to us as soon as they have them available and we can film them. If you'd be interested in anything from them right now, go see Charles Brockman. His contact info is below. He's been working with us for years. 4 cylinders of Fury derived from the old Ford Pinto at its origins. This motor started in the Pinto, went to Mazda, got a lot of education there, and came back to Ford as a 2.3-liter EcoBoost is good for 270 horsepower, which is 8 less than the Tacoma, but 300 foot-pounds of torque, which is more than the Tacoma. Our Tacoma feels thrashy compared to this. This feels like it's been out for a decade, and it shows. That's fair criticism, and the Tacoma is brand new, or a couple years old, the motor itself. So that being said, kind of a point towards this and refinement for sure. All that said, let's check out the interior with Craig.
All right, Brian, we finally get a little bit more extended time with a Ford Ranger. Well, yes, we've done it before, but now we get to play with them a little bit longer. Let's start with the tailgate. Can you actually lock it? Because we've got everything. We got the keys and all that. Lock it and see if it locks. It does. Pretty nice. That's always a nice feature.
All right. Oh, okay. I remember these.
And one of the things we talked about, we weren't sure, was that a pre-pro thing? Would these be red? They're red in the production version. I'm just going to tell you, it's stupid, but I like it.
I love it, man.
There's really no point in need for that, but I love it.
Straight up shock right here, by the way, not an internal mechanism.
I'm 5'9". I can actually reach over almost to the bed. It's not bad. It actually is not a terrible height. I felt like it was taller on the previous one, but maybe that's just my head. The best thing though is, Brian, I can just put my foot here and then I can just reach it. It's super simple. Yes, they stole it from GM, but also wondered about this when we had the pre-pro models at the state fair. And here's what we're actually getting in the XLT FX4. We get a 400 watt, 120 volt outlet there. That could be handy for a laptop. And then we have a 12 volt, 180 watt. That could be good for a cell phone.
Okay.
Well, so if you're back here using your laptop or cell phone in a truck bed,
Ford's got you.
Ford's got you covered.
Yeah, okay.
Tie downs, we got one in the middle, kind of towards the bottom here. They've kind of split the difference all the way around. We get another one in the middle of the bed. That's actually really convenient. A lot of trucks don't have anything there. And then up front, we get one in the middle, not in the bottom or the top. Kind of wish we had something. I'm sure there are accessories. There's no bed rails.
Yeah, this one doesn't have any options for that.
But you know that's an accessory that is doable. All right, Brian, let's check it out. We're in again, the final product, and we get the door sill, and it's not padded, but that's okay. Look, it's an XLT. This is not the loaded boy. And it's got the Ford truck door pull handle, perfect, holds a cell phone. Thank you. Why can't everybody do that? And bottle holder down at the bottom, plenty of room there, not an issue. I'm going to sit behind myself, 5'9". And I've got the seat where I want. There is plenty of room back here.
You got room for days.
I want to go ahead and tell you this. Way more than the Tacoma. There's that. That's just the thing.
Okay.
You don't get rear AC, which is very interesting, Brian, because in the overseas specs, you can get rear AC as an option, but in the US, doesn't matter what trim, you don't get it. The 120 volt option back here, USB-C, USB-A. Look, they know people are transitioning, you get both. Unlike some other vehicles, you get an actual armrest. That's really nice. Brian, let's see if you fit.
Just know that can go forward a little bit.
Yeah, we're more concerned about the headroom.
Ooh, she's close. Let's try the hat off method and see what we got here. It feels just like a Dodge Ram back here, like a full-size one.
Okay.
It kind of has the taper thing going forward, but it works though. I can go to lunch in this for sure.
All right, Brian, getting out, checking out under the seat because there's some storage there. Let's see if we get 60-40 split, and we don't. We get a little pull up here, and then it pops up.
Okay.
I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, a little disappointed. Not a lot of storage here, and I wish this split.
Yeah.
But, you know, at least you got something, you can put some toe straps and whatever. Oh, wait a minute, there's more.
This can fold flat. That's the trick.
Very good point, Brian. So behind the seat, you can fold this flat, and it's perfectly flat storage, so you could put gear there. Look, if you're overlanding or doing an off-road trip, that's what you do. You fold this down, and you put all your crap in here.
You can put a cooler in here level, and that kind of stuff. That's
and then
nice.
It's covered.
Yeah. Also, for parents, you have access to the latch back here, which is really hard in this size pickup truck, but is what it is. At least you have access.
To the front, before we get to anything on the interior, let's talk about payload, Brian. 1,569 pounds in this FX4 off-road package.
What?
That is unbelievable. This is the most similar spec to our TRD off-road, 1200 even.
Yeah.
That's a lot more. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but that is a lot. Anytime you hit that 1500 number and higher, boy, you're talking business. This is overland friendly. All right, let's get to the door. Brian, the door sill itself, not padded, just like our Tacoma. Armrest padded very nicely. That part's really good. And the door pull, you got a spot to put your cell phone. Love that. And plenty of room for a water bottle down below. Thank you very much. Let's get to the seat because that's really important. One of the things we love about our Tacoma is the seat.
We do.
All right, let's check this out. And actually, Brian, not bad at all. This is a good seat. You can actually get in a really good position here because, Brian, it's got a lot of travel. A lot of them just go like this. Yeah. This one comes pretty far out, and that's really nice. Solid. So I can actually put the seat where I want, and I'm sitting in a good spot. I like the seating position of this a lot.
Can I intervene real quick?
Yes.
We haven't talked about this yet. I feel like the sill is lower than the Tacoma because I'm comparing that because we own that. That's what's on my mind.
Yes, the Tacoma, you got a very narrow greenhouse.
Right. This has the gap between here and the height of the windshield feels huge.
Yes, and it gives you a little bit more of an open, airy feel. You definitely don't feel any bigger in here, but it feels bigger because of that.
Right.
Not a switchblade, a key.
Okay.
Brian, we got a little bit of a controversial thing in the gauges here. This is the XLT. You can get other trims that have more gauges and all that fun stuff. Let's say okay to all these things. Yep, thanks a lot. That right there, you see that bar? That's the tack.
I thought the engine was loading.
Yeah, no, that's the tax. You do get a tack. It is kind of hard. It's buried into menu options. So, you know, it's there. That's convenient. We do get plenty of switches down here. Hard switches for the lights and the fog lights. Very nice. Window switches, we get auto up and down up the front and not in the back. It doesn't indicate that anywhere, but that's just how it works. And then, Brian, this is probably the best thing that Ford's probably pretty proud of. This screen right here, you get this in all of them.
Yeah,
they just they kind of do this in their full size. They're doing the same thing. The Rangers. The HVAC is auto climate control, but it's not synced, so you can't sync it for some reason. It's like a BMW.
It's just like a
BMW,
like a $100,000 M4.
Yeah. Or like an old Land Rover. You know, so there's that. Wireless Qi charging here. You get plenty of cubbies. I love that a lot.
Yeah,
plenty of room for other car keys and who knows, wallets, that sort of thing. Cup holders in the right spot. Drive modes here. On the off road, we'll get into more into that. Brian, where's the locker button? I've found it, actually. If you hit this button, and it's actually a button on the screen. Kind of wish you had a hard button, but...
Yeah, me too.
You know, it's all good.
As long as the screen doesn't freeze, you'll be fine.
Who cares? Let's see how fast it is.
Let's do it.
All right, Brian, we're in the all-new 24 Ranger. Same powertrain as the previous generation, though.
Yep.
And it's a hot day, 96 degrees. Not ideal, but Ford has a real sport mode. Hit it.
Load the torque. There it goes.
Oh!
There we go.
Okay.
40, 50, and 60 on the nose. What you got?
With me in the car, 7.54, Brian, comparison to our Tacoma stock with the same wheels that it came with, 7.51 without me in the car.
Okay.
What did you get without me in the truck?
6.90.
Whoa.
Flat.
So you broke 7.
Yeah. Oh, easily.
Wow.
Easily.
Okay, that's good.
So this is what happens when you build something and 10 years later you're still making it. You've made some refinements. I hate to keep going to Tacoma, but that's the new big question. Ranger versus Tacoma. That's the drawback with the current 2.4. It's just new.
It's just new.
Right.
Toyota hasn't been doing it. They've been making turbos, yes, for years. We get that.
We get that.
They don't have an issue with reliability.
No, we're not saying that.
They haven't been doing it here domestically for a long time, in trucks.
Well,
Ford's been doing it forever in trucks.
Exactly. And Ford has found the edge. They know what works and what doesn't. And this thing is very healthy the whole time. It's not pulling timing. You're not getting that sensation. The shift mapping is finally in the 10-speed very good.
Yes, they've ironed that out.
Right. And their sport mode is a kill mode. They're not screwing around with that. So all that being said, love the powertrain, and it sounds so much more refined behind the wheel than the Tacoma does. But you're missing some turbo whooshes the Tacoma has. So it's a trade-off.
Could some of that be solved in Tacoma with injector, foam isolators?
Sure.
Probably would help.
And Toyota will do that eventually.
And they probably will. Or maybe the Limited has that. We'll have one soon. We'll let you know.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
But Brian, let's talk about ride and drive.
Okay.
So this does not have coil suspension. Leaf sprung. Our similar equipped trim level Tacoma has coils,
which is a huge advantage for ride quality.
A big advantage. Let's talk about that ride quality.
Okay, it's kind of choppy. It's very trucky. So when we first left the dealer, I went, "Oh, this is what some would call a sportier ride, and that it's slightly stiffer." I like that in a pickup because I know it has a job to do at the end of the day. And when I put some weight in the back, like a tent and that kind of stuff, it's going to do it without complaints.
Right. If you buy this and you have any intention of putting any gear back there and going off-road, you don't have to do any suspension changes.
You're good. Whereas our Tacoma cannot say that. Wind laden finds bump stops everywhere, even on the road.
The spring's just too soft.
Now, the trade-off is when it's running empty, it rides like a Buick, and it's really nice. So
it does ride better.
Doesn't do that.
Just day to day. That's true.
Steering very numb, but loads up like it should. It's typical truck steering. Ergonomically, I feel like this seat is Not as supportive as the Tacoma, but as comfortable in terms of like lateral support and that kind of stuff. It feels like I could spend some time here. Very comfortable. There's gobs of headroom, just like the Tacoma has. And the viewing spot and that kind of stuff is just very Ford and just works. Everything works.
It does. Look, Ford knows ergo. They know how to do it here as well. It's carrying over. When we get it long term, we'll check road noise, but road noise seems good in this. The midsize market is competitive, and that's really the bottom line.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. And I want to leave a special note for all midsize manufacturers right now. You're charging real money for midsize, and you're not giving us your best.
That's a good point.
It's a little frustrating. No rear AC. You're just not trying. It's not saving that much money.
No full gauge cluster.
Full gauge cluster in this, you can't get. You gotta go to Raptor to get that. Well, and they all trade punches, right? The GMs have some. Well, why is that so cheap? It feels like it's on purpose things.
Right.
So does this. So does Tacoma. It's a little frustrating.
And it's not. And to your point, it's not like they're a whole lot cheaper than a full size. So just give us the goods.
Right. Exactly. All right. All that being said, this thing's freaking sweet. I love it, and I've got a feeling that we're gonna have more time with this thing.
Oh, okay. With that, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments your favorite midsize. We've driven them all now.
Yep.
What do you think? Thanks for watching.
Trey, we forgot something. One more thing.
Yes.
Overall, of all the midsizes, name them off.
We got Gladiator. We got Tacoma. We got Frontier. We got Colorado Canyon Twins. And we got Ridgeline.
And you got Ranger. What's the best overall, taking into account for front seat ergonomic, which I think Ranger and Tacoma are real good, and Ridgeline are all real good, and rear seat leg room balance? What's the one you want to haul your family around in most?
Oh, the Ridgeline.
Really? Even with the rear seat room? You complained about the rear seat room.
But it's still just as good as this or better, and it's got more storage underneath.
Interesting. Okay.
And when it comes to just people inside the cab, yes, the Ridgeline.
If you're going to take Ridgeline out, then what?
Then it's a Ranger.
Same here. Because some people go, oh, Ridgeline's not a truck, or it doesn't fit their needs.
Yeah, if you want to go to the real truck thing, okay, the Ranger splits all the differences the best.
It does.
They all have a compromise. It splits the differences the best.
Got it.